Hi friends, and welcome to this solution session on our assignment on algebra, right? Algebra is a very easy topic, but it is very important topic as well. Usually we would get around 2 to 3 questions from this topic which are very scoring and which can be very easily done. So without wasting any more time, let's go to the solutions and see what are the best ways to do these questions. The question number 1 says sum of the digits of two digit number, so there is a two digit number, is 15, right? If 9 is added to the number, the digits are reversed, the number is, right? So the best way out is to do through options, but if we don't know how to do it through options, let's see how we do it using algebra. So it's a two digit number, let it be AB, right? So it can be written as 10A plus B, right? We all know this. Now it says, the first statement says the sum of the digits is 15, right? The second statement says when 9 is added to the number, so number is 10A plus B, and when 9 is added to this, the digits are reversed, so the number becomes 10B plus A, right? Now we have to simplify this equation so that we can solve it further. So just transfer B to this side, 10A to this side, and we'll get what? We'll get 9B minus 9A is equal to 9. Further simplifying it, and we'll get B minus A is equal to 1, right? So we have these two equations, this one and this one, right? We just add these two to get A and A would get cancelled, and we would get 2B is equal to 16, which implies B is equal to 8. So when B is equal to 8, A would be, from this equation, put B is equal to 8 to get A is equal to 7, right? So AB is, our number is 78. So do we have that option? Yes, we have that option, which is here, right? So this is the right answer. It would take you around 1 minute to solve this through this method. But the easier way out and the most preferred way out is through options. So when it says the sum of the digits of two digit number is 15, let's check which of them satisfied. So 9 plus 6 15, 8 plus 7 15, 7 plus 8 15, 6 plus 9 15, right? So this is satisfied. Now if we add 9, the digits should reverse, right? So if we add 9 to this, it should become 69, which is not possible. It would become 100 something, 105, which is not the reverse of digit. If we add 9 to this, it would become what? 96, which is again not reverse of the digit. If we add 9 to this, it would become 87, which is reverse of the digit. So this is the right answer even by using options. So by using options, it would take you around 30 seconds to do this question. So preferred way is to use the options. Let's go to question 2. Again, so this is not at all a simple question, seemingly tough, and perhaps most of us might leave it. But let's see, can we do it? It says how many integral pairs of A and B satisfy this equation, right? So we have to integral pair of A and B, right? So A and B are to be integers, right? So let me copy this equation. Let's try and simplify this. Can we simplify it? Let's see, right? Can we write it as 3 times A plus B is already there, is equal to, let's take B common out of these. Let's take B common out of this. So B would be common here, and it would become A plus B plus 61. Further, let's simplify it. It becomes 3 times A plus B minus B times A plus B, right? And it is equal to 61. Can we take AB common out of these two terms? Yes, we can. So let's take A plus B common, and what we are left with is 3 minus B, right, is equal to 61. Now we know that a and b are integers, so a plus b is also an integer, 3 minus b is also an integer, right? So product of two integers has to be 61. And if we have done our prime numbers very carefully, we know that 61 is prime, right? So 61 can be written as 61 into 1. So out of these two, either a plus b is 61 or 3 minus b is 61, right? If a plus b is 61, we would get some 3 minus b would be equal to 1. If a plus b is equal to 1, 3 minus b is equal to 61. So from these two equations we would get two solutions, right? We would get, so let me write it, right? So a plus b is equal to 61 and 3 minus b is equal to 1. So from here b is equal to 2 and a is equal to 59, right? So this is the solution. Or the second case can be a plus b is equal to 1 and 3 minus b is equal to 61. So from this what we would get is b is equal to minus 58, right? B is equal to minus 58 and a likewise would be something else. So only these two cases are possible, right? Because we cannot write 61 as any other factors, so only these two cases are possible. And from these two cases we would get only two solutions, right? Only two values of a and b would be possible. So answer would be B. So you can see that this was a very basic question. You have to understand what are prime numbers and why 61 is given here, right? If you just simplify it, you would be able to solve it. But if you just keep on thinking how to do it, you won't be able to solve it. So sometimes it's better to just write a question, rewrite a question and try to simplify it like we did in this question. And hence we would be able to solve it. Let's go to question 3. The length, it says the length of a certain rectangle is decreased by 4 and width is increased by 3. So when we do it, it becomes a square of similar area, right? What is the perimeter of original rectangle? Let's see, can we do it? So it's a basic algebra question. So length is L initially, let's say length is L, right? Width is B, right? So area would be L into B. When we decrease 4 from length and add 3 to it, 3 to width, the area remains the same, right? So it becomes, let's simplify this, LB is equal to LB plus 3 times L minus 4 times B minus 4 times B and minus 12, right? This would be it. Again we can simplify it. This LB and this LB would get cancelled and we would be left with 3 times L minus 4 times B would be equal to 12, right? So this is given. Now when we subtract 4 from length and add 3 to width, it becomes a square, which means what? Which means L minus 4 should be equal to what? Width plus 3, right? This is it. From here we can write L in terms of B. L would be equal to B plus 7, right? B plus 7 would be the length, right? So just put L in this equation, right? And we would get 3 times B plus 21 minus 4 times b equal to 12, right? Solving this, we get b is equal to 9 and L is equal to what? L is b plus 7, L is equal to 16. So the perimeter would be 2 times, so 2 times L plus b, which is 2 times 9 plus 16, which is 25. So 2 times 25, which is equal to 50. So again you have to cut through the equations, right? You are given some statements. You have to firstly make the equations out of these statements. So firstly it says the length is increased by 3, length is decreased by 4, and width is increased by 3, and it gives the same area. So we put in this equations, and then it says it becomes square, right? So we know that square means that both length and width has to be same. So we do this, and hence we were able to solve it very easily. So just try to reduce the word equation into numbers or into equations, right? So that we are able to solve it. Let's go to next question, which says a car gives a mileage of 30 miles per gallon when it is driven on a highway and 20 miles per gallon when it is driven on a city. How many highway miles should one drive on 400 miles trip if car consumes 14 gallon of fuel during the trip? So car has consumed 14 gallon of fuel and it has traveled 400 kilometers. So let on highway it travels h kilometer, and on city it drives c kilometers. So these are two variables which we have, right? So total miles it has traveled is h plus c, which is 400. So first equation would be h plus c is equal to 400. Second equation would be on highway it consumes certain amount of petrol fuel, and on so for h kilometers it travels, it would consume how much? For 30 miles it consumes 1 gallon. For 1 mile it could consume it would consume 1 by 30. For h miles it would consume h by 30, right? And in case of c it would consume c by 25, and total fuel consumed is 14, right? We have to just simplify this. So taking LCM, right, it would become, the LCM would be, even if we don't take LCM, it would become 25h plus 30c is equal to 14 into 25 into 30, right? Just simplifying it, it would become 5h plus 6c is equal to 14 into 5 into 30, right? 14 into 5 into 30, which means 5h plus 6 times c is equal to, so 14 into 5 is 70, right? 70 into 30 is 2100, right? So we have these two equations finally to solve. One is this and another is this. So we have to solve these two equations. What can we do? We can multiply this equation by 5 and subtract it from this, right? So doing that, we would get, what do we get? We get 5, so multiplying equation 1 by 5, so 5h plus 5c is equal to 2000, and if we subtract it we would get c is equal to 100, right? And h is equal to 300. Simple, just cutting the equations so that we can solve it. The question is, how many highway miles? How many highway miles? 300 highway miles. That's the answer. So 300 is our answer. Let's go to question 5. In a 2-digit number, it is known that its unit digit exceeds its tens digit by 2, and that product of the given numbers and the sum of its digit is 144. The number is, let's go and solve it by options. It says, first statement says it is known that unit digit exceed tens digit by 2. So units digit should exceed tens digit by 2. So this might be possible. Here not possible, here not possible, and here this might be possible. So we have A and D, which might be probable answers. Let's go to statement 10, second statement, which says the product of the given number and sum of its digit is 144. So sum of its digit 24 multiplied by sum of its digit, which is 2 plus 4 6, which gives us 144. So this is the right answer. Here the sum of the digits is 1 plus 3 4. So 13 into 4 is not 144, right? It's 52. It is not the right answer. So using the option, it becomes very easy. We could have made the statements, but it's useless. There is no need to make the statements. Just read the question, try to solve it through options, and you would be able to do it in 30 seconds. Let's go to next question. A man walks into a bank and make a withdrawal of 1500. He asks for specific numbers of rupee 1 note and a certain number of rupees 10 note. He also asks for 10 times as many rupees 5 notes and as rupee 1 note, and twice as many rupees 50 note as rupees 10 notes. So let's assume that he asks for 1 rupee note. He asks for our X. 10 rupees note he asks for is Y, right? Now 50 rupees note he would ask for would be 50 rupees would be, he asked for 10 times, sorry, 5 rupees, not 50. Let's 10 times 5 rupees note as 1. So 5 rupees notes would be 10x, and twice 50 rupees note would be 2y, right? This is it. This is the equation which we would get, right? What is the total number of notes which he get, right? So total money he got was 1500, which means what? So total money can be found out how? It can be found out as 1 times x plus 10 times y plus 50 times x plus 100 times y, right? Which is equal to 1500. Do we have any other equation? Let's see. We don't. So can we solve it using these equations? So we have to find x, all this stuff, right? So we have to find 11x plus 3y, right? So it becomes 51x plus 110y should be equal to 1500. So in this case you have to see whether we can, so there should be some unique values of x and y, right, which cannot be possible otherwise. So we have to see, are there any unique values of x and y in this case, because this is the only statement possible and we don't have any cannot be determined kind of statement. So the number of notes which he would finally have got is 11x plus 3y, right? These are the number of notes which he would have got, he would have received, right? So just find out what can be the possible values of x and y. We have to do a little bit of hit and trial to come to a solution, right? So how to do it is do a little bit of hit and trial. So if we put here x is equal to 1, right, it's not possible because for this to be divisible by 110 and y has to be an integer, right? So there has to be a 0, right? So x can be 10, right? Let's put x is equal to 10. What do we get? We would get 110y is equal to 1500 minus 510, which is equal to 110 y is equal to 990, right? So 990 is divisible by 110 and y comes out to be 9, right? Now we have to just see that x can be 10, x can be 20, x can be 30 and so on. So if x is 20, right, what do we get? We would get 1020. So if x is 20, let's say, then we would get 110 y would be equal to 1500 minus 1020, which is equal to how much? It would be equal to 480, right? Now 480 is not divisible by 110 and hence we would not get an integral value of y, right? So only possible case is x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 9, right? So just put x is equal to 10 here and y is equal to 9, which means it becomes 110 plus 27, which is equal to 137. So in this case, though we only were able to form one equation, but the equation was such that we were to get integral solutions of x and y, because number of nodes should be integral, they cannot be fractions, right? And only way we get the integral solution is by putting x is equal to 10 and y equal to 9. So this is a little bit of hit and trial we have to do to solve this question. So answer here is 137. Next question is, a number is doubled and 9 is added. If the resultant is trebled, it becomes 75. What is the number? Right? So let's again use the options, right? And go as it is given. So a number is doubled, right? Let's take first option. So number is doubled. 3.5, double of it would become 7. 9 is added, so it becomes 16. 16 is then trebled, so 16 3s are 48, but it says it becomes 75. So 3.5 is not the right answer. Let's go to 6. 6 is doubled, it becomes 12. 12 plus 9, 21. 21 is trebled, it becomes how much? 63. Not the right answer. Let's go to third option. 8 is doubled, it becomes 16. 9 is added to it, it becomes 25. 25 is trebled, it gives 75. So this is the right answer. Very simple question, right? Just he has used some words which might be intimidating. We have to just cut through these words and make, even without making an equation, just using options we can solve it, right? Let's go to question 8, which says, a boy has enough money to buy 20 exercise books. If each book cost 25 paisa less, he could buy 2 more books and still have 70 paisa left. How much money he originally had? So let each book costs x amount, right? So he has originally 20x because he had enough money to buy 20 books, each where x is the cost of each book. Now it says had each book cost 20 paisa less, right? 25 paisa less. So let's take x in paisa only. So let's say here each book cost x paisa. Now if each book cost 25 paisa left, he could have bought two more books, which means he could have bought 22 into x minus 25, right, and still would have 70 paisa left, right? So this is the total money. But total money is same in both the cases, so this has to be equal to this, right? So we just put an equal to sign. So this is a linear equation in single variable. So 20x is equal to 22x minus 25 plus 70. Just solve it. It becomes 20x is equal to 22x minus, so it would become, so how to multiply it with 25? So just multiply it by 100 and divide it by 4, right? This would make some calculations easy for you sometimes, right? Not here. So 2200 divided by 4 would become 550, right? So it would become, if we solve it, it would become 20x is equal to 22x minus 550 plus 70, right? So it would become minus 550 plus 70 is 480, right? So 480 is equal to 2x, or x is equal to, x would become 240, right? So each book costed him 240 paisa or 2.4 rupees. So total money he had was 20x, which is equal to 20 into 2.4, because our answer is in rupees, so we will multiply it by 2.4, which, and it comes out to be 48. So our answer is 48. Very simple question in one variable. This might be probable question in our exam. Let's go to next question, which says two numbers are such that if first is added to 5 times the second, their sum becomes 52, and if second is added to 8 times the first, their sum becomes 65. The two numbers are, we can make equations, but and the equations would be very simple, but we would go by options. So if first to be added to 5 times seconds, it becomes 52. So 5 times second, let's go by first option. 5 times second means 7 into 5, which is 35, plus 9, it becomes 44. Not a right answer, right? 7 into 5, 35, plus 3, 38. Not a right answer. 9 into 5, 45, plus 7, 52. So this is the right answer. You don't even need to check the second condition, right? So this is the right answer. As simple as that. Just 20-second question. You have to do it. You have to understand when to use options and when to make equations, right? If sum of a number and its square is 182, what is the number? So the question says let the number be x. So we have to make equations, and sum of its square, which means x square, and it is equal to 182, right? So it becomes a quadratic equation. X square plus x minus 182 is equal to 0. Now we have a minus sign here, right? So we just divide this into factors such that subtracting that we get 1, right? So 182 can be written as, it can be written as 81 into 2, right? 81 into, sorry, 91 into 2, right? 91 multiplied by 2. 91 can be written as what? 13 into 7, right? So 13 into 7 into 2, right? So these are the factors, and we can make it 14, so it would be 13 into 14, right? So we can factorize this x as 13 into 14, right? So we can write x square plus 14x minus 13x minus 182 is equal to 0. We can again take x common from this. It becomes x plus 14, x plus 14. From second we can take 13 common, minus 13 common rather, and it would become x plus 14 inside, which is equal to 0. A very simple way to solve a quadratic equation. Now x plus 14 common from above, and we are left with x minus 13 is equal to 0. So x could be either 14, minus 14 or 13. We don't have minus 14 or 13 as option here, so answer would be none of the above, right? Quadratic equation question, though a simple one, seemingly complex, but it's a simple one. So this ends our session 1 on solutions, right? We'll just do another video and make it a session 2, right, to keep the video short. So thanks for watching this video. I hope that you understand when to use options, when to make equations, and how to solve it in least possible time and in best way possible. Thanks and all the best for your preparation. Just wait for video 2, it would be there soon.